You know, ladies and gentlemen, every farm team of an NHL squad has a story to tell. And this story is a story of the big city of success, a two-time U.S. senior hockey title winner, the pride of the Eastern League, played about 20 years in the association, even spent 1 year in the Quebec Senior League when the AHL was shut down for a year. The New York Rovers have produced so many great players in the AHL. We've been talking a lot lately about their connection with the first person of color, Larry Kwong, to play in the NHL. He played with the Rovers for a number of seasons, played with the Rangers in 48. Now, this squad came in the mid-1930s to much success. Now, they were sharing Madison Square Garden with the Rangers. Now, at the time, as you know, the New York Americans and other NHL squads were either hosted by or hosted various NHL games. Rangers are a very popular squad. The Rovers built up their own fan base, and as a senior hockey league team, they weren't really considered fully pro. And as years went on, numerous top players, Muzz Patrick, Boucher, Gilles Lemieux, Ed Jacquemin, Gub Worsley found himself with the Rovers jersey on, as did Larry Kwong. Now, while we're talking about the Rovers today, it's an interesting story. They were going along quite well for most of the 1940s, up until the AHL kind of stopped for a year. Now, the reason why they folded is that they needed to sell their TV rights to continue as a squad. Now, this was like early 1950s. So, unless that the price was too high or the legal ramifications were not there, we're not exactly sure. It didn't go through, so it was one of the first teams ever to fold because their media money wasn't there. Now, it was getting more and more costly after the Second World War to run a sports team because of hyperinflation after 45, the better equipment, the bigger rinks, the cost. You couldn't put tickets up, and the lease at Madison Square Garden, again, wasn't completely negative, but they still had to pay to play. But if you look at the logo of the Rovers, it's pretty well the New York Rangers with the word Rovers instead of Rangers. Now, again, a very, very popular squad. A lot of their players had been used for ads, were interviewed on a regular basis, and again, the radio and TV situation, they're one of the first teams in hockey to have a big media following because the press would cover them quite a bit, the radio would cover them quite a bit, there was TV reports for quite a bit, because at the time, Dumont, NBC, ABC, CBS were dying for sports teams to cover, and I know this for a fact, I saw this on the old kinescopes. The Rovers were referred to as New York's second team. They meant by hockey, even though they had, the Yankees and the other New York squads through the years. But the Rovers, knowing that a team skated somebody like Larry Kwong, Gump Worsley, Villiers, Jacquemin, Boucher, Muzz Patrick, are really, really, and I think they produce upwards of 50-plus players for the NHL, because if you played with the Rovers, that was a good team. Eastern Hockey League was very strong. You're bound to make the Rangers down the road. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's our latest in our mini podcast on key amateur, senior, or minor pro teams from the States in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s. If you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, subscribe. And don't forget, check out our Larry Kwong podcast. There's been efforts across Canada by various individuals to get Larry into the Hockey Hall of Fame as the first person of color. We broke barriers for people of Asiatic descent in sports across Canada, and also bringing hockey coaching to Switzerland on numerous levels. So Larry needs to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame, just like Willie O'Ree got in recently. We must recognize the legacy. And the thing about Larry had a lot of fans with New York Rovers. So if you see Larry getting in down the road, it's also a tribute to his the teams that develop players like this, because there's been groundbreaking non-white players through the years, and these squads took a chance to fight against discrimination to get these people on the team. Herb Carnegie as well, we don't want to forget him, and Tony McKechnie, players like that, Mike Marson, Bill Riley, Grant Fuhrer, on and on and on. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, subscribe, or share, and don't forget, keep your stick in the ice. Have a good day. Bye.